Welcome to this Tutor to You Introduction to Sociology topic video looking at social institutions. In previous videos in this series on socialization and norms and values, we've mentioned social institutions as being key in the process of socializing individuals into the norms and values of society. But what are social institutions? Social institutions are the organized patterns of social order that help individuals to fulfill their basic needs. In other words, they control the access that individuals have to different aspects of society. There are a wide range of social institutions that you may study in sociology, and these institutions are part of the wider social structure, what binds and connects society together. In this video, we're going to look at some of the different social institutions that sociologists research. One of the key social institutions is the family. As an agent of primary socialization, the family is responsible for teaching young people the norms and values of society. As we saw in our earlier video on socialization, the family passes on norms and values to the next generation, and while some of these are specific to the family group, what we call particularistic values, other norms and values help prepare the next generation for wider society. Furthermore, the family provides important functions, such as providing basic needs for survival and socializing children into their gender appropriate roles. Sociologists examine the impacts of family life on individuals and how the family affects wider society. They also examine whether the family is still as important in contemporary society, particularly in light of changes to the organization and structure of family life today. Another important social institution is education. It takes on the role of being an agent of secondary socialization that acts as a bridge between home and wider society. It passes on universal norms and values such as meritocracy and the ability to achieve status, which enables young people to function in society in later life. Sociologists examine the role and purpose of education in people's lives, as well as how in-school processes can impact on an individual's ability to achieve and how it impacts on their personal development. Sociologists also examine the extent to which education can be seen to facilitate social mobility, providing opportunities for people to progress and succeed in society. A more contemporary social institution that sociologists examine is the media. This is a growth area for sociological inquiry, as in the 21st century, with the advent of new media, individuals are more influenced than ever by the messages they receive from different media platforms. Sociologists examine the role of the media in transmitting these messages, as well as patterns of media usage by individuals, the ownership of the media, and who decides the content of the media sources we use. Religion is another example of a social institution that sociologists research. Despite the decline in traditional religions in recent decades, a process called secularization, many people have different religious beliefs, and this can have an impact on how they act and behave. Sociologists focus on the differences between religious practices and why certain groups of people choose to believe what they do. They also examine the changing nature of religion in society and why people are choosing alternatives to traditional religions to fulfill their spiritual needs. Furthermore, they examine the impacts of globalization on religious practice around the world. An important social institution that sociologists examine is the criminal justice system. This controls levels of criminal behavior in society, and crime remains an important focus for many sociologists in the 21st century, particularly in the field of criminology. Sociologists examine the causes of crime and the differences in rates of offending based on social class, gender, and ethnicity. They also focus on the development of subcultural attitudes to crime and why, for some, crime is seen as an alternative to more traditional means of earning money. Finally, work and employment. Outside of the family, work is where most individuals will spend the majority of their time. And so sociologists are perhaps unsurprisingly focused on the impacts of work in contemporary society. Work shapes many individuals' identities, and so sociologists will examine patterns of work, changes to the way that people work, and the impacts on individuals of not being in work. The social institutions that we've looked at are just some of the wide range of institutions that sociologists examine in their research, which shows how wide the fields of interest for sociologists are. That concludes this Tutor to You Introduction to Sociology topic video on social institutions. Thanks for watching.